Oh. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, let me plug this one up. Okay. There we go. All right. Now I got this going live on the May 30th page, but I also got it going live on the should I put it up here? I guess. Yeah, I guess take the light off. Let's see how dark I get once I take the light off. I guess it's not that bad. Yeah, can it go so? Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be like off to the side. All right, so sorry, we just getting that. I'm just going live on my personal Facebook page too for a little bit, real quick. Yeah, that worked. Yeah, that worked. Put it right here. Oh, look, that worked. There we go. You can make that one a little bit straighter for me. Ghost story. Oh no, don't say that. Yeah, there. Oh yeah, it's the things there. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm live on the personal Facebook page. We live on the May 30th Alliance Facebook page. I just plugged the mic into the my personal Facebook page, so I'm not sure how the audio may sound right now from the May 30th Alliance Facebook page. For anybody who is, please share this post. For anybody that's watching this, please share this post. For anybody who is unaware, I'm just going to speak about some of the happenings that have went on in the city of Rockford and in Winnebago County over the past 72 hours. And again, I'm not doing this or speaking about this to try to be breaking any type of news, to try to be any type of any journalism efforts. This is only in the efforts of speaking about the type of implications that these actions taking place have on us as a people and have on us as a community. On Saturday, actually, let's do it like this. On October 2nd, Tyrus Jones was shot unarmed while running away by the Rockford Police Department. Okay? On October 3rd, 2020, May 30th Alliance, along with others activists in the city, came out to City Hall to occupy City Hall and demanded a press conference from the mayor in which he spoke about Tyrus Jones being shot, in which he spoke about the ongoing police terrorism that has taken place in the city. And we said that those were our demands when we came out here. And we wanted the name of the officer who shot Tyrus Jones released. Mayor Tom McNamara, who just was reelected, ran unopposed. Instead of having a press conference in which he spoke about these things, spoke about the shooting of Tyrus Jones, like we just seen happen in Minnesota in the Brooklyn Center from Dante Wright, the mayor got up there and he spoke. Moral integrity. He got up there and spoke. Moral integrity. He spoke to the people, the media, not a Facebook post. Instead, Tom McNamara put out a Facebook post about Tyrus Jones being shot, and he wiped his hands of it. That was it. So we continue to stay outside of City Hall. We continue to occupy City Hall. Within that first week, protesters were assaulted. Protesters were assaulted outside of City Hall. Protesters were falsely arrested outside of City Hall while trying to bring awareness to the police terrorism that was going on in this city. There's videos of all of these things. All of these things there are videos on. If you're on my personal page, please go to the May 30th Alliance page. If you are on the May 30th Alliance page, please go through and scroll through videos and photos on our page and through the post on our page. They assaulted people for that week, falsely arrested people and assaulted people. So we continue to stay out here. We continue to stay out here through them justifying the shooting of Tyrus Jones. Marilyn Height Ross was the state's attorney at the time. It was before Jay Hanley came into office. She justified. She stood up there with the same Winnebago Boone Integrity Task Force with Theo Glover up there then too. I don't know why Theo don't speak. They stood up there and they justified Tyrus Jones being shot while running away, while being unarmed. They justified it. That happened. We stayed through that happening because we knew that would happen, because that is we have memorials here for multiple people who have been killed. Everyone has been justified, so we stayed. We knew we was going to stay through that. On January 5th, again, came out here October 3rd. We stayed all the way through November 3rd, through December 3rd, through January 3rd. On January 5th, This man was assaulted and beat by the Rockford Police Department. And the same police officer who was involved in this young man, Denzel Duvant, being beat to a pulp like this was the same police officer who shot Tyrus Jones on October 2nd before we came out here. So we stayed. That was a reminder of why to stay. We have memorials put up on these light poles. If you live in Rockford, Illinois, if you live in Winnebago County, if you live in this area, I want you to come down here and you look at these light poles of these men who have had their lives snatched from them. And you see the multiple different dates. Multiple different police chiefs, multiple different district commanders, multiple different aldermen, multiple different mayor, multiple different community leaders. You come up here and you see what they have allowed to happen continuously in this city, what they have permitted and condoned and even encouraged. They have given promotions to the officers of theirs who have murdered people. They have given awards to officers who have murdered people in this city. So this happened January 5th, so we stayed outside of City Hall in Rockford, Illinois. We continued to occupy. This was a reminder of why. And now here we are in April. April 10th, a shooting takes place. Winnebago County Sheriff's Deputy murders a man in his home. And then the day after that, on the 11th, the Rockford Police Department attempts to murder a young man for running away, shoots him for running away. And so here we are, April 12th, 2021. April 12th, 2021 in Rockford, Illinois. And we have had 3 shootings in the area since October 2nd when Tyrus Jones was shot. Who they gonna shoot next? You, me, your brother, your sister? Your cousin, my friend, your friend? That's a scary question to ask, but it's a true question to ask. It's a real question to ask. People like to throw this word pandemic around a lot nowadays. So let me take a try at it too. The police terrorism in this city is a pandemic. It's a police pandemic going on. And don't stand too close to nobody black or brown, you're going to catch it quick. So what implications does that have for us as a society? And I want anybody watching this to share this post. If you're watching this, share this post. If you're watching this, share this post. And I hate I got to do a video after somebody has been murdered, after somebody else was attempted to be murdered, and lobby for shares on the video and lobby for interactions and engagements on the videos. But the reason that we must do these things is because we need more people paying attention. We need more people to see these things going on. We need more people to wake up. And I'll do whatever. If to wake more people up, it means I gotta sleep less. Bring me some coffee and some Red Bulls. If waking people up means I gotta sleep outside, means that we have to sleep outside, we have to sleep less, then we gonna stay up and we gonna have some blankets. Bring some more blankets and lawn chairs out here. It's warming up outside. I want it to be a long damn time before anybody can pass by City Hall in this city and not be reminded of the actions of these police officers and the inactions of the elected officials here. What the pastors gonna preach about in their pulpits on Sunday? What these pastors in this city gonna preach about in their pulpits on Sunday? You got a white pastor, you got a white priest, you got a white white congregation. I want to know what you go ask them what they gonna go up there and speak about this weekend, this Sunday. Your kids is in row. What is these teachers talking about to these kids this week in school that live in Rockford, that live in Winnebago County? What you talking to your kids about? What you talking to your family members about and to your friends about? You talking about them? That's the name of that show that came out, Them. You talking to your family about them? That's what you doing. You talking to your friends about them? You talking about the exploitation of black trauma for Jeff Bezos' company? Or are you going to talk about the implications that black and brown people being murdered in the streets has on you as a citizen in this city? When the basketball playoffs start? How much time do we have before they can monopolize Black Death for y'all to watch basketball again? I like basketball too. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't. I like basketball. I love basketball. I want LeBron James to win as many championships as possible. But watching it can get put on the back burner. Being up to date with it all the time, being able to watch all the first takes and all the Stephen A's and the banner, that can get put on the back burner. My son could be next. Your son could be next. Putting Black Lives Matter on the basketball court won't help that. Okay? Putting somebody's name on your cleats, putting somebody's name on your wristband, it won't help that. If it could, we would have fixed this by now. You know how many times that we done did that? Now, I know I understand this too. I'm not sitting here saying that I have the solutions. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that this status quo don't work. We must disrupt the status quo. We must disrupt our brothers and our sisters who may agree with our beliefs and our ideology. We must disrupt them as well. I must disrupt my brother. I must disrupt my black brother who, because of the capitalistic society, cannot see the current genocide that this country is waging on people that look like us. It's my responsibility to wake him up. I must find a way to wake him up. We are in a club. We are in a club and everybody is on the wall. And the only way that we're going to get this problem solved is if we get people dancing. So it is the responsibility of the people who are awake, of the organizers, of the activists, to figure out how we get the music playing and get the right lineup and get the right playlist to get the people dancing. Because we need the people dancing this spring and summer. We need this weekend. We need people out this weekend. We need to be marching this weekend. They have murdered somebody and then they have attempted to murder somebody else on top of Denzel Duvant, on top of Tyrus Jones, on top of what happened all through the spring and the summer last year. Think about this. I want anybody who laid down in the streets last year, who cried in the streets last year, I want you to think about this. Them same streets that you laid down in and that you cried on, that you felt those emotions on, that you felt that spiritual awakening on, that you felt all of this energy on, they have tried to murder people on them streets since then. It ain't even been a year, and on them same streets they have tried to kill people. Those was prophecies that was taking place. A police officer once, Kurt Wisenhand once came down here and accused me of being a false prophet. Those were the words he used. He called me a false prophet. At the time, I thought he was absurd for saying that. I'm like, this man is. If it's a lot of reasons that he's absurd, mainly because he's working for this institution of policing, and blind to the fact that it destroys and corrupts everything that it touches. But besides that, I thought that statement was absurd. And now as we sit here, and I have to think, maybe he's a prophet for knowing that I was going to understand that it was a prophecy. You right there. That's what we was going on when we was doing last year during them die-ins, prophesying about what was going to take place in this city in the next 12 months. They was going to try to kill people in the streets. They was going to try to kill people in the streets. So we going to stay at City Hall. Imagine this. Imagine if we was doing like let's say that we was doing you ever work somewhere where they got all the dates and since the last time an injury happened, or it has been this many days since an on the job injury, this many days since somebody got hurt working. So let's just imagine we got one of them for Rockford, right? We got one of them for the police department for the last time that they done assaulted somebody that we know of, just that we know of. And the goal is, let's just get to 365, and then we go back to business as usual. No more protests, no more demonstrations, no more bullhorns and megaphones or traffic stop. We get to 365 days, no police violence that we know of, and everything is stopped, right? So May 30th, they beat the hell out of people on video. So that reset it. You back at zero. But then, you back now after May 30th. If you go a couple days, they didn't do nothing to people when they was lying down doing the die-ins. Nobody got beat up or whatever. But then in the end of June, you reset back to 0 because Ariadne get assaulted by Officer Fabiani. So now you back at 0 again. So damn, you back June. Now we gotta wait to June. So then you go through June, and then you get to the end of July 31st, and then got to start back at 0 again because they assaulted people on camera, on video for marching in the crosswalk. On camera, on video. You go find them videos. You go to the May 30th Alliance page. You see those videos. You type in City Market protest, Rockford, Illinois, and Google. You see them videos. On YouTube, you see them videos. You Google, do your Googles. You will see the videos. So you back at 0 again. And then that's a Friday. Then on Saturday, now that you back at 0, you think, well, you can put one number on the board on Saturday. But nope. At the Back the Blue protest, the counter Back the Blue protest, videos of this too. Go find them videos. Do your Googles. We have receipts. That is what we have been doing here. We have been keeping receipts. We got receipts. I got receipts on Tom McNamara. We got receipts on Tom McNamara. We got receipts on Gary Caruana. We got receipts on Dan O'Shea. We got receipts on Carla Red. We got receipts on Kurt Wisenham. We got receipts on Dominic McNeese. We got receipts. Keep your receipts. We kept our receipts. So then you got to start back at 0 again at the counter Back the Blue protest because they assaulted people, pepper spray people. Go look that up. It's 1 million views on YouTube. Viral. Rockford went viral. 1 million views on YouTube. You look it up. It's on WTVO page. They should get the people who got assaulted some type of percentages for whatever streaming money that the income that they get from that. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So you back at 0. Then you wait till the next Friday come, City Market come, you at 0, you hoping maybe you could put some more numbers on the board. You at 0, you went from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you get to Friday, you got 4 days, no police violence that took place. You thinking maybe we just got to get back to next August again for no more, we be at a year. Nope, at the next City Market, they pepper spray kids. That damn near should put you in the negative. I'm probably getting too loud on the mic. I'm sorry. That should probably put you in a negative. You should almost go back negative days if you start assaulting children, which they also did on May 30th. So maybe they should have started in negative days. But anyways, that's what happened. So they assaulted people then, threw people to the ground, falsely arrested people, all type of things. So now you back at 0 again, or for some people a negative. And then the next week, the same thing happens. So for all these Fridays, every time we get to 4, 5, 6 days, no police terrorism, no police violence, City Market come, they beat an ass. It's SmackDown Friday. It's Raw Friday. Raw is war down at City Market for the police officers. They wearing helmets and everything. You would thought they was in the Watch riots in the 60s, 70s. So let's say that you get past. So then we get past all of those things. The City Market ends. And so you go, the City Market ends, Saturday, no violence, Sunday, no violence, Monday, no violence, Tuesday, no violence, Wednesday, no violence, Thursday, no violence. You got 6 days on the board and it's no City Market. So the city feeling like, oh, we in the clear. We about to start putting numbers on the board. We finna get close to this year, no violence. Maybe we can get rid of these protesters. That Friday, they shoot somebody in the back. Tyrus Jones gets shot in the back. They try to kill him. They attempted to lynch him. That was a 21st century attempted lynching. Dominic McNeese attempted to lynch that young black boy in the streets. They wanted to hold court in the streets. And as a society, this is what we have to get to a place where we understand, is that we have to be better than the worst actions of our fellow community members. I must be better than your worst action. Your worst action cannot dictate my next action. So, Tyrus Jones is shot. That's 7 days. That's 6 days wiped off. So now we back at 0 days. Now it's October 2nd. You done went from May 30th to October 2nd, and you can't even go a full month without no police violence happening. So October 3rd, we here. October 4th, we here. October 5th, you got 2 days on the board. What happened? The Rockford Police Department, Carla Red, she come down here. She think that she Triple H or she Undertaker or she Stone Cold Steve Austin or she The Rock, and she's assaulting protesters, assaulting a 21-year-old. This is a grown-ass woman on video, nonetheless. And it's videos up in the sky that of these assaults taking place. Those videos should be released, Jay Hanley. And I know the police watch this. I know the state's attorney watch this. I know these elected officials watch this. Watch the whole thing. Watch the whole thing. Go back and watch the reruns from before. Watch how we got here. Rewatch them. Add this to y'all file that y'all got. We gonna add the stuff that y'all doing to our files that we got. So, excuse me, not to get off track. So here we are. Here we are again. They've assaulted somebody in the first week of the occupation, October 5th or whatever. So now they back to zero again. They back to zero. And so they get a couple of weeks down where they didn't occupy nobody, they ain't assault nobody after occupation. They ain't shot nobody. They got a couple weeks on their belt. We go to protest down at the courthouse. Maybe 4 or 5 days within protesting at the courthouse, they arrest the brother of the man that they shot while protesting about his brother being shot. Think about the logic in that. Think about the type of depravity it is in that. Think about the type of inhumanity, inconsideration that it is in that. They arrested the brother of the man that they shot while unarmed in the back while he was protesting, walking on the crosswalk. That's what his crime was, walking on the crosswalk, grabbing his hair. One of the police officers there brought his baton out, swung it on the ground, stumped it on the ground. You would have thought he was in some type of Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So they assault. So that's it. So now you back at zero because that's an assault. And again, some people may give you negative points for some of these things. You were arrested. You were assaulting the brother of the young man that you shot unarmed for trying to bring awareness to his brother being shot while unarmed. Okay, so that happens. So now you back at zero though. So now they back at zero. So that was in October. So they go through October, November, they justified Tyrus Jones being shot, and they justified. I think that is, I would make an argument that is emotional violence, that is traumatic violence, or excuse me, emotional violence. But that's neither here nor there. We gonna stick to physical violence. So even though that is some sick, disgusting stuff, we won't add that to the violence mark, okay? So there's no violence that took place through November, no violence that took place through December. And then here we go. We get to January. It's a new year. You got a new state's attorney. You got a new state's attorney in office. A new president get ready to get put into office. Y'all done got the city got 2 months underneath his belt. No violence. January 5th pop back around. Look what they did. They back putting numbers on the board, boss. So now you back to zero. Think about that. Think about how long I done been talking, just talking about this one idea of a board that talks about how long it's been since the last incident of police violence. Something that is normal in a lot of employments. You go into any back room at any job, especially if it's got a warehouse, you will see something that says it's been such and such day since the last on work accident, since the last on the floor accident. They keep track of those things. They want to make sure they providing a safe work environment for everybody involved, even the customers coming in. So we trying to provide a safe environment for everybody involved. Can't even get to a year. So this is January 5th. So now we looking at, we got to get to next January. But maybe we can do it. So you go through February 5th, nothing happened. You get to March 5th, nothing happened. You get to April 5th. April 5th, nothing happened. You got 3 months. We back on it. We back going on the right track. January 2022 be here before you know it. April pops up. Second weekend in April, I believe. Second weekend in April. They out there shooting people. I don't mean to be insensitive by doing that, by using that hand remark or whatever. I just want people to understand the raw emotion that it is after this many families, to speak to these people's families, to speak to these people who have been victimized collectively for to see this in these people's faces, and then to see the lack of care in the mayor, the lack of care in the chief of police, the lack of care in the police, the county sheriff, and the individual officers, and the state's attorneys, the district attorney, state attorney. I feel personally almost a need to make up for their emotion, their lack of emotion, with my emotion. I feel more passionate after seeing them get up there and speak about the attempted lynchings of black and brown people with such disregard. I feel the need to be more flamboyant, to be more boisterous, to be more exuberant, to be more passionate, to make up for the lack of passion on their side, to make up for the coldness and the apathy on the for those people who work for this institution. This institution of violence, this institution of death, this institution of destruction that leaves everything worse off than it was before it touched it. You cannot rehabilitate something if you leave it worse off than it was when you encountered it. So they supposed to rehabilitate the young man that they shot on Sunday? If they arrest him or charge him with anything, which hopefully they don't. Hopefully they do the right thing, do the humane thing. They supposed to. They said they beat this man like this, and made him sit in jail repeatedly with no bond. Beat him like this, made him sit in jail. Cruel. That is cruel and unusual punishment. But it's supposed to rehabilitate. He's supposed to be becoming rehabilitated while he sat in that jail. That's what was supposed to be happening. He was supposed to be becoming rehabilitated. That's what was supposed to happen. That's what was supposed to happen. It's a park police that just pulled up. I wonder how these police that pull up. I really truly do wonder what it's like to pull up and see this. Even just everyday people that pull up and see this, that want to be in denial. How you be in denial with this when you pull up with your kids and your kids see this? What you say to them? You know the truth. We don't even got to put no words up there. We have words up there right now that say remember their face. But we don't even have to put words up there that speak about what happened in this picture. You drive by, you see this picture, you know the scope. Think about that. No word. When they say the idea that a picture worth 1,000 words, that right there. Think about how many black people and brown people, and in truthfulness, if we are in a place where we can have a honest conversation where we can look into color and not pretend like color don't exist, but if we are truthfully looking into color, white people too. You know how many people this has to have happened to for when somebody drives by, they can just see the picture and know the scope and know what's going on and know what it is? That's decades. Decades of a reminder that you can see. I done seen teenagers pull up and see just the picture of this young man's face, and they know who did it. They know what happened. They know why we out here. The same extent that it took for this society to get into a place where somebody can come by and see this and know exactly what it is without us saying what it is, and know exactly what it's for without us saying what it's for. The extent of things, the measures that it took to get us there, it's gonna take those measures plus more to get us up out of this. I remember my thought was this. I thought this very, very reluctantly. I remember thinking to myself that if we come out here, when Tyrus Jones was shot October 2nd, October 3rd, we was going to stay until certain demands was met. I remember thinking to myself that if we did this from when Tyrus Jones was shot, what do we do when or if, most likely when, the next person is shot or killed? Because we can't do less. We can't regress. That can't happen. So if we was gonna stay a year when Tyrus was shot, does the day now get reset? Are we now looking at, say we would say that our thought process was to stay a year from Tyrus's shooting? Are we now looking at April 11th, 2022? What's the likelihood we can even make it to April 11th, 2022 without another one of these happening? And again, I want people to understand this. And I think this is one of the things that is the most difficult for people to get across to people and for people to truly hear. But I feel for every family that violence has touched and torn somebody out of their lives. But we will not be able to deal with the effects until we deal with the causes. And it is hard to say that. But we will not be able to deal with the effects until we deal with the causes. And one of the causes is the institution of policing. And the institution of policing's tentacles lead up to all of these other things. The institution of policing and the institution of mass incarceration is the reason that it is not the right amount of money being invested into neighborhoods and into communities that have been deprived of resources. It's the reason that things are not being invested into more public employment. We need less police officers so we can have more other public employment jobs to make sure that people have an equal opportunity at being employed. We need more money put into the educational system, and we need to pull the money that's being put into this institution of death. Pull the money being put into this institution of death and put it into an institution of life. Put it into an institution of creation instead of an institution of destruction. But as it stands right now, whenever people see, they hear about somebody's store get robbed, or somebody get arrested with some drugs, or God forbid, Lord forbid, somebody get arrested for being for a murder, everybody's first instinct is more police, which is more violence. More prisons, which is more violence. More arrest, which is more violence. More death. I would have shot him too. Back to blue. Blue line. Blue lives matter. Violence. And so is as trivial and as simple and as it may seem, it is as true as possible. The idea that violence begets more violence. Violence begets more violence. So as long as we are trying to deal with violence, we will continue to get violence. So it starts with the institutions that we pay, the institutions that serve us. Police serve us. That is something that has been forgotten in these last however many years, but that is the truth. Police serve us. Let's see. Is anything going on in? Let's see. Anything else going on in Twitter? I don't know. It's 10:09, Minnesota. It is unlikely that I will be able to have this live go for 4 hours. 4 hours just seems to be the cutoff time for a live. It's unlikely that I'll be able to speak for 4 hours, but we will continue to speak and to talk as much as possible throughout the night. I will continue to look into what's going on in Minnesota and speak about what's going on in Minnesota. I continue to speak about what happened over this weekend for anybody who may hop on and see for the first time. Again, it was multiple shootings that took place in the area. One was in Winnebago County. One was in unincorporated Winnebago County. Another one took place here in Rockford, Illinois. One involved the Winnebago County Sheriff deputies, which involved a murder that took place. The other one involved the Rockford Police Department, where they shot a 19-year-old young man while he was running away. Monday, April 12th. The state's attorney said he is neutral. Gotta applaud his honesty. I do applaud that. I do applaud his honesty. And I guess to some extent we gotta applaud the mayor's honesty. He being honest, he don't give a fuck. To me, that's what a Facebook post. Somebody broke up with me on Facebook, excuse my language. Somebody broke up with me on Facebook or through via Facebook post. They don't give a fuck about you. And so to me, that's what I interpret from that. I would not if I was the mayor of the city, do a Facebook post speak about citizens in my city being murdered. As it stood out, when Tyrus Jones was attempted to be murdered by his police department, by his police force, he didn't speak to the mother for weeks. He didn't even try to reach out to speak to the mother. He had no interest in doing it. I wonder if he's reached out to these families. I wonder if he's doing anything different this time around. right? You got to wonder that. You wonder if I wonder if the mayor of the city read any new books since May 30th, watched any new documentaries. Been inside, went to truly winning, spoke to any different communities. Uh, I don't know. I don't. A lot of people ask me a lot of times. They say, "How do we fix this? What's the solution? What do we do?" I don't know. I got more questions than answers, but I think that one of the few answers that I do have is not this. Not just going about business as usual. Not just going about every day and clocking back into work, clocking out of work, breakfast made, dinner made, lunch made. I know it's not that. It was a time when it's been multiple times in this nation's history when people have decided, and it always takes something different and at different points, and you never know what it is. We could, I have no fantasies that we are in some type of pinnacle of a revolution. I believe we are the very, 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 very beginning origin stages. But I do believe that, again, that the dominoes are lining up. Things are lining up. How many more times can this honestly happen? How many more times can it happen till, just the families all being together is enough people? I think right now, imagine if we could just get the families of all of these people. Now, you don't even got to be people who wasn't touched by it. If just the families of all of these people was here on these light poles, probably almost 1,000 people, I would think, depending on who it is. And so, what are the implications that these things have for us? What are the implications these things have for us? And I hate to seem like the loud, angry black guy. I hate to seem like the loud, angry black guy all the time. I know that's not a good look. But damn, I would like to not be put in the position to be angry and to feel the need to be loud. I think it's disturbing how quiet it's been these last 24 hours, 48 hours. Who all run alderman? Who all won for alderman that was running? That's what I'm gonna do. That's what we need to do. I'm gonna get a list of all the aldermen that ran, and maybe we make some personalized videos, ask them how they feel about this. What you say? Oh yeah, that's true. We go through and look at their social media posts for the last 24, 48 hours. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We gonna have to find some things for us to do to occupy the time down here. Since we not gonna read, one of the things that has very, very a very true point that was brought up because it's from people who have been watching. We were supposed to be doing the ongoing teaching to say their name square. One of the things I was speaking about during the teaching that I felt that the teaching was about informing, interacting, engaging, and then educating. And that each one of these things had a different process to be completed, right? And I think that we have jumped straight into we're no longer going through the process in the sense of coming out to get informed and then coming out to interact and then coming out to engage, and then that ended up in us being educated. We are in a place where the information has been given to us over the 2 weekends, over the weekend, the 2 shootings. You've been able to interact with the information, speaking to people, talking to people, seeing posts on comments, and so on and so forth. Now it is time for the engagement. What type of engagement are you going to have with this? Will your engagement stop at sharing a Facebook post? Will your engagement stop at a Facebook comment? Will your engagement stop at an Instagram post or an Instagram share? Where will your engagement stop at? And where your engagement stops at, that will determine what your education from this process is for each of us, for all of us. And then the quicker along we become more educated, the quicker along our ideology will be, and we'll be able to put some of these things into practice. We'll put these theories into practice and find out which things are tangible to getting us closer to liberation and which things aren't tangible. We got to start putting things into practice. We got to start putting things into practice, because these institutions, they putting it all into practice. Every day on a regular basis, they putting it into practice. So we got to start putting these things into practice. So we're going to have to find a way. The platform has been built. We're going to have to find a way and figure out what it is that, behooves the platform to speak about, and when to speak about it, and what things we can do. But it needs to be justice for what happened over this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. And I said this before, and I'm going to keep saying this. Once we get justice for whoever the first set is, then then it's our job to retroactively go back and get justice for everybody else. And justice is going to look different for everybody else. For everybody in general. For every specific case, a specific person, the manner in which we can get justice and the kind of justice we can get is going to look different. But I tell you this right now. Nobody has had any of it right now. Money is not justice. Finances is not justice. And admittance of wrong and admittance of guilt is really the first step towards justice. The first step towards the vindication of some of these families who've been vilified. Some of these families have been vilified. Their loved ones have been vilified. They need vindication. They need vindication to help them getting along through the justice process. They need vindication to be that olive branch to help them to be ready to heal and to go through the process of attaining justice. It's come down to City Hall. I said this before at the earlier one. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep doing these. Nap here, wake up, whatever. I don't know. We going to we get everything fluid. We going to figure it out. This literally ongoing teaching. In the worst possible manner. They say, I think I've heard this saying a lot. They say experience is the greatest teacher. That may be one of the most ominous when they go back and they talk about this portion in Rockford's history. That may be what they call this portion. Experience is the greatest teacher. We try to have an ongoing teaching down here, an ongoing teaching to try to teach the community, speak to the community, tell the community about these issues, to try and experience. The greatest teacher of all came in to try to educate the community. It told us to step to the side. Experience came in, said step to the side. I'm gonna teach. So experience was the teacher of the ongoing teaching on Saturday when these deputies murdered somebody. Experience was the teacher of the ongoing teaching on Sunday when the Rockford Police Department again attempted to murder somebody for running away. Experience was the teacher again on Monday when the mayor of the city put out a Facebook post after someone was attempted to be murdered by his police department for the second time in less than 6 months. Facebook post. That's experience teaching you about what type of men you should and should not elect. That's experience teaching you about what type of politicians to support and to not support. That's experience teaching you about what type of men to associate yourself with and what type of men to not associate yourself with. That is experience teaching you. The mayor of this city operates off of a white power structure. He operates off of a mind state of white power structure, off of a mind state of white supremacy, off of a mind state of white nationalism. Part of that mind state is being completely oblivious to the fact that the decisions that you make as a white man with privilege has implications on people who do not have that privilege. All right. I gotta use the bathroom. We've attempted to try to pause these lives before. It does not work. As much as I would like to keep the live going and running, I don't want somebody to come and watch and just to be empty space here right now. It's too important. The situation is too important for empty space. I want to encourage anybody who is watching this, you share this post. You share this video. We will continue to be live. I do not know what that looks like for us. I do not know what that looks like for us, but I know that we have collectively, each person who has contributed, whether it was day 1, day 10, day 50, day 100, day 150, contributed to building the platform that is Occupy City Hall. So that way it was a voice, a collective voice when these things happen. So we will find the best way possible to continue to use that collective voice. We will find the best way possible to continue to make this space here a safe space for the victims of these horrific, inhumane actions. We will continue to make this a haven for people who are like-minded, who may have specific ideological differences, who may have world differences, worldview differences, who may have religious differences, who may have gender differences and sexual orientation differences, but have a commonality in that they want police terrorism to end. They want mass incarceration to end. They want racial injustice to end. They want justice to reign. We will continue to be in that space, and we will continue to call out to people regularly. Come to this space. Help us to create a new mentality, a new consciousness in this city. And in the midst of doing that, because if you destroy the consciousness that exists now, destroy the lethargy that exists now. But we cannot properly destroy. We cannot call ourselves revolutionaries and call ourselves to be destroying something and call for the destruction of something if we are not also willing to create something to take its stead. And so that is why we have been doing the readings up until this point, to try to spark the conversations, to spark the minds, to be the catalyst, to get to the place of us coming up with a ideology and tactics to try to solve and address some of these things. As a call out to people, come. We will build in the library, building the May 30th Alliance. Come. If you build it, that we will come. If you build it, that will come. So we will continue to be here in this space. We will continue to use this platform. We will continue to speak. I 100%. Everybody has their own beliefs, their own ideology, their own way that they want to do things. I think that the best thing that is possible right now is for everybody who wants justice and liberation to start working, and you work in whatever facets that you need to work in. You exist in the struggle in whichever level that you currently exist in. As long as you are aiming and working towards struggling, we will find a way. It will become full circle. It will become full circle. And so I hope this weekend we are in the streets. I plan to be in the streets this weekend. What does that look like? I don't know what that looks like. I'm in the streets now, and it don't look the same as what being in the streets May 30th looks like. Being in the streets right now in Rockford after these shootings happening looks different from what being in the streets in Minnesota may looks like. But we still in the streets. We are not going quietly into the night. Rockford has ceased to go quietly into the night. We may not be going into the night as loudly as other places, as loudly as other areas, as loudly as other cities, as loudly as other communities, but we are not going as quietly as we once went. We are not going quiet how we have once went. But we have to be louder. I do know that we do have to be louder. We have to be more organized, more mobilized, more powerful. We need more power. It is not a weakness to admit that you need more power. That's the first step to attaining that power, is to know that it is a lack of it, a void of it. And it is obvious that it is a lack of it. It's obvious that it is a void of it, because the officers who did this is still collecting paychecks and working. Nothing happened. You might not even, there's going to be some people who watch this video for the first time they're going to even see this. People going to see news clips for the first time they're going to ever see this. But that's okay. We going to stay to get everybody's first. We going to stay to get everybody's first. Jay Hanley, Jay Hanley, I know you watching this. Tom McNamara, I know that you are watching this. Dan O'Shea, Gary Caruana, I know that y'all are watching these things. Release the videos. Stop playing with people's lives. Stop politicizing people's lives. History will remember these things. History will remember these things. History remembers Bull Connor. History remembers Bull Connor. History will remember these things. History remembers Richard Nixon. History remembers the White Citizens Council. We are in a moment that is bigger than any one of us individually. It is. If people have felt in denial of that before, I hope that today, in this last 3 days, it has been shown to you that it is a fact. It is a matter of fact. We are in moments that are bigger than any of us individually. In the 60s, they were in moments that were bigger than any of them individually. During the Civil War and the ending of slavery and Reconstruction and things like that. It is moments in time where you are bigger. You are in something that is bigger than you individually. And if you want to try to fight against that, if you want to fight the zeitgeist, if you want to fight the universe or the higher power or God, whatever it is that you personally subscribe to, if you want to fight that when it's, because some people watching this right now when they know, they can think about where they was at when Oscar Grant was killed, or when they found out about Oscar Grant, or when they watched Fruitvale Station, and they felt it then. They felt it then. You felt it then. Or when they heard about Jordan Davis, or watched the 9.5 minutes documentary, or when they heard about Sandra Bland, you felt it when you seen Sandra Bland picture. Ain't a new emotion that's getting roused up in you now, or getting roused up in you from seeing this picture, or getting roused up in you because of George Floyd. It was there. It's been there. It was there when the first time you seen a picture of Emmett Till. It was there. You can't even remember the first time you seen a picture of Emmett Till. Some people might not even be remember it so inscribed in you. There's been so much more Black death since then. It's there. It was there. It was there when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. It was there. It was there. It was there when the first time that you watched documentaries or you read history books and you seen the things that our ancestors endured during the civil rights era, that our ancestors endured during slavery. It was there. It was there. These is reminders. That's all these is. These are just reminders. These are just dominoes checking and falling to let you know as much as things change, the more they stay the same. And that's the same for us. The same, our ancestors was the ones that had it within them to fight these things and get some of these things to change. And some things have just adapted and not been erased. Some things have been erased, some things have adapted. But I say that to say that the same way that it was within them to do that, it's within us to do these same things. But it did take dire circumstances. Churches blowing up. People being lynched people being killed for the swimming pools they used. People being killed because they looked at a white woman the wrong way. Those is extreme circumstances. So it's gonna take extreme circumstances. It's gonna take George Floyd's. It's gonna take Tyrus Jones. It's gonna take the people who were shot over the weekend. It's gonna take Dante Wright. Excuse me, I hope I'm saying this young man's name right. There's so much going on. Excuse me if I'm saying anybody's name. And for anybody's name who I'm not mentioning it because I don't want to say nobody's names wrong. And it's so unfortunate that it is so many names. And there's other people who better with names than I am. Which is probably not the best being and say their name square and then saying that I'm not the best with names. But I'm dealing in true, full transparency. So I don't want nobody to think I'm not saying these people's names or saying names because it's I don't care or I don't know or I'm not invested. I want to make sure I'm getting everybody's names right. Again, so that was a lot of qualifying and clarifying. And again, this is a stream of consciousness, a stream of thought. I'm not trying to be a journalist. I'm not trying to break no news. I'm not trying to do none of those things. We're not trying to do none of those things. right now talking is right now using this platform and talking is the most tangible manner of justice or of freedom fighting that I can do. So I'm talking. I don't got no problem walking. If somebody come down here and they tell me what their plan is to walk, I'll walk with you right now tonight. What's the plan? 10:30. What's the plan? You come down here, you tell me. I'm walking with you. Until then, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk, and we'll figure this out collectively. Again, come to City Hall. Come down to City Hall. I don't care if you come to tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. We'll be here. Something got to change, right? Something got to give. Can't be business as usual. Can't be business as usual. They're going to arrest people out in Minnesota tonight. They're going to arrest people in other cities if people go and protest or demonstrate. That's another thing we got to get to. We got to get to a place where we understand that the institution will use the weapons that are at their disposal. An arrest is a weapon that's at their disposal. They will use it. We can no longer afford to be surprised or to be devastated or to be deflated because they will arrest us for standing our grounds, for standing up for our rights. That's one of their weapons. They will use it. I think it's a thing and a half. I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it. It's 10:30, April 12th, Rockford, Illinois. We are on day 192 of Occupy City Hall. We are on day 192. For 192 days, we have lived outside of City Hall. The May 30th Alliance has lived outside of City Hall. 192 days in protest of continued police terrorism, continued mass incarceration, and continued racial injustice. And excuse me, I know that I'm a little bit lower on this one, so I'm sorry about that. I was louder earlier. Once I end the video, watch the first half. The first half, this mic is plugged into there. I plugged it into this second camera to try to get some people that may be watching on my personal Facebook page. And again, anybody that wants to know what they can do to help, what they can do to contribute, what they can do to participate, we are at City Hall. Come down to City Hall, and we can have a conversation. Please come out, because we again, this is not in no type of self-righteous mission. No, it has nothing to do with getting no attention, nothing to do with no news cameras, nothing to do with none of those things. We must, before, in the manner of trying to get justice, while we are trying to get justice, the way we are going to do it is people have to know. And too many people don't know what's going on in Rockford, Illinois. They don't know what's going on in Winnebago County, and that's why I keep going on. So right now what we trying to do is we want people to know. So share these videos. You come down here and you be a body. You come down here and you talk to the people that's down here, and they can give you firsthand testimonies of the corruptness that goes on in this city, of the moral bankruptness that goes on in the people who run these institutions in this city. You come down to City Hall. All right, I'm going to end it.